Welcome to the Zeitgeist Lab, Season 2,
Season
Episode
2,
1, Season
Collection
2,
2.
Collection 2, however you like to call it. I don't really care one way or the other.
But it's not
Um,
Zeitgeist Lab Seasons. It's Zeitgeist
that's
Lab
true, yeah.
Collections.
Yeah. Welcome to Zeitgeist Lab Collections, Collection 2,
Mm-hmm.
Episode
Yes.
1. I'm your host, Brian. I'm your co-host, Brian. Not the only host.
And I am the other host that's also not the only host, Alex.
Yeah, I think I'm the host and you're the other host. I like the sound of that.
Oh, yeah, you would like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. um, we haven't mentioned what season 2 is yet.
We have
I mean,
not.
it's probably in the description. It's probably part of the episode title.
Right, that's true. I mean, there's a select few of you that will have known beforehand because you're behind our paywall.
That's right. Yeah.
So for all the hottest gossip and up to date happenings, jump on our Patreon. It's patreon.com/ZGLabPod. For the rest of you freeloaders, you probably didn't find
let's
out.
plug that early in the episode. I like that.
Exactly. The rest of the freeloaders are finding out probably when this comes up in their feed what we're talking about this season. So why don't you tell us?
We're talking about Community.
Community, that's right. So I'm
the
curious.
Ill-fated sitcom of the late 2000s.
Ill-fated. I guess that's accurate.
Yeah.
So,
I'd say so.
When we embarked upon this endeavor, we kind of had a standing agreement that we would switch off who got to choose the topic for each collection. So obviously, you've gone twice in a row now because I know you're the one that really wanted to talk about Drive-Thru Records, and now we're here
that was
about
all
Community,
me.
which was also your choice. So maybe one day I'll get a say, but
probably not.
So why Community? Why did you pick this?
Well, it was originally to be something else, and then which would have probably would have had a similar fate to Drive-Thru, whereas only one of us liked the thing a lot,
and it was probably end up being just as cancelable in the end, if I had to guess.
Yeah, for sure, and we one episode of the pod last collection. We sort of got off topic and started talking about Community, and I realized how big of a fan you were just by the very short dialogue we had about it, and I decided to go with that because you were really enthusiastic about it, and I was enthusiastic about it, and
absolutely,
that's pretty much it. I figure it might do us some favors content-wise if we talked about something we both liked.
Okay. Now, I think that's interesting because, and I don't necessarily disagree, but I feel like you always thought the episodes last collection were boring when we both agreed on the album we were talking about.
That is true, yeah. So So maybe this will be really boring. I don't know. Because I chose most of the episodes we're going to be talking about.
Right.
And I chose basically the ones I thought were the best.
Okay.
Yeah, well, keeping in mind every season, so there's some I do like more than others, but I don't know how you feel about some of these, so I don't know. Hopefully, we'll get into some disagreements.
We'll see. Yeah.
But yeah, so the episode we're talking about is Biology 101. It is also the season premiere.
It is
of the third season, I believe. Yeah.
Yes,
season.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Penultimate season.
No, see what the fuck does that mean? You can't just throw the word penultimate in. It's not like a universal descriptor. It's just that's
I
fucking
did that on purpose
insane.
just to see how mad you'd get.
It's so stupid.
I know it's not the penultimate season. That'd be season 5.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're going to get their 6 seasons in a movie? Because they got their 6 seasons.
They got their 6 seasons. I think they all really want to. I mean, I don't know what the fuck is going on with my algorithm my Android phone. It like listens to what I talk about. It obviously knows what I'm searching, but it's always pushing the weirdest articles to me. So I'm often getting articles about like Yvette Nicole Brown says that the Community movie is definitely happening. I'm like, and then you read it and it doesn't say that at all. It's just like, yeah, we all want to do it, and hopefully we can make it happen. So I don't know. At this point, I don't even know if it would be any good, to be honest with you. So I don't know if that's something I actually want.
Right.
Do you think they'll get it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you'd have to get Donald Glover, which, he's like doing a million different things all the time.
Right. But last year during all the pandemic, they did like a cast reunion, and Donald Glover said he would be interested in doing it if all the stars align. So even he is open to it. But I mean, I agree that you have to have that to make it possibly good, but I don't know if that would still be enough to make it good.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's like the missing link or anything like that. I think it'd be interesting if they got Chevy Chase to do it. That's probably not going to happen.
That's probably not going to happen. I mean, I would love that. I have a soft spot in my heart for Chevy Chase, which I'm sure a lot of people would take offense to, but I think Chevy probably. Chase is just. I think he's just one of the all-time greats, and he's from a generation that was more racist, and that's not excusable. And he's done a lot of shit that I wish he.
Oh, I thought that's why you liked him.
No, you're right. That's actually exactly why I like him. So I'll just leave it right there. I really like that SNL sketch where he says the N-word. I think that was the peak.
Oh,
that was the
I
peak
didn't know
comedy.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, it is.
I mean, yeah, it's probably. I mean, it's SNL. God, did you see they had that one guy got canceled because he made this one comedian was supposed to be on SNL a couple of years ago, and he got canceled for making an off-color joke on his podcast, which is called My Secret Podcast.
Is that what's called? Yeah, I remember that whole thing, and it was a bunch of like Asian hate type stuff. If I recall.
Yeah. He made a poor joke, but then SNL goes and makes a whole skit where it's a game show of all black people, where the host is convincing them to get vaccinated.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is the most racist thing I've ever seen.
I mean, I doubt it's the most racist thing you've ever seen, but
no, I've seen more racist things. I'd rather not mention.
Right. Yeah,
but
I mean
that is one of the most openly racist things I've seen on TV in a long time.
That's bizarre. I wish I could say that it surprised me. I am a huge SNL fan, but that kind of is behind me. But I still think that there are certain SNL things that are kind of timeless, and I think that whether you like SNL or you hate it or you're indifferent or you think it's past its prime, I am willing to go on record as saying the reason it's still alive and kicking after 46 seasons is in large part because of the tremendous success that Chevy Chase helped it have in its first season.
For sure.
So
I thought you were gonna say it's biting political satire.
No, I mean it has had biting political satire.
Intact. It's still hard hitting.
No, I mean after Jim Downey left and Al Franken and people like that, the satire is just it's shit now. But
yeah. remember when Fred Armisen played Obama?
Yeah.
SNL.
Good times.
Yeah. All right. So the episode we are attempting to talk about is Biology 101, the third season premiere. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I've watched it.
Okay, cool.
no, I haven't watched it yet. I thought maybe we could talk about it, and then I would go back and I've never seen this episode, so
yeah.
It's exactly like the BoJack Horseman bonus episode where we're talking about something that I've never watched before.
Right. Yeah. So, what did you think of the season premiere of season 3?
It's. I mean, It's like a really loaded question because it's. I'd have to go back and look at our list. I don't even know if we know what order we're going to be going. We're certainly not going to be talking about episodes in any sort of chronological order because I know we will be talking about seasons that predate this. So I guess I don't want to get too in depth, but I think that season 3 of Community is potentially the best season of television ever. Period.
Okay.
And I think that this is I think like the ultimate season opener. And when you watch it, if you watch it completely out of context, it's probably just like batshit crazy. Like you have no idea what the fuck is going on. But I came at it. I watched this show as it first aired, so it's not like I've binge watched it in the years since. But when I first watched it, it was not through binging. I was going to NBC every Thursday night or whatever and putting it on. And so at the time I thought this is a really funny episode. I love this show. They're back. They're doing things that I thought were really good. And then, you kind of live through the season and at the time I think season 3 is just amazing. But when I've gone back and binged it since, the season just continues to get better. And there's so many different things that occur later in this season that are set up directly in this episode. Like I feel like this episode is the linchpin for the first era of Dan Harmon with this show, and so I think this is an amazing episode.
Yeah, I for the most part agree. I think it does a really good job of setting up a lot of the characters' relationships for the season.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did a really good job of highlighting what's going to happen between the sort of power struggle between Pierce and Jeff and the rest of the group.
Right.
And yeah, I thought the intro was kind of corny with the musical number.
Oh, I love that intro. I think it's so good.
Yeah,
I get that song stuck in my head, and I think it's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I like the concept behind it, of them saying everything's gonna be normal and fine,
mm-hmm.
and then obviously it isn't.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, just outside of that, you talk about sets up relationships, and I agree with that. But when you go back after the end of the episode, you see so many different things get set up, like the introduction of Weisstein Laybourne.
And then I wrote Weisstein, John Goodman.
Yeah, right. And then you've got the whole AC story arc kind of throughout the season, and that's very critical to the end of the season. And then Chang becoming a security guard, which kind of sets up the whole thing with him taking over the school at the end. It's just there's so many critical things happening.
The same season, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chang starts out in a really, really weird place and then ends up in a really, really, really weird place. This is Is this post Changnesia or pre Changnesia?
No, Changnesia that's season 4.
Okay, that's the bad season.
Mm-hmm.
I like how it starts with him living in the vents, and then the season, spoiler alert, ends with him just running an authoritative regime.
Yeah, an army of children.
Yeah, it has an army of children,
and he kidnaps the dean.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked. I thought they kind of overdid. I thought Jeff's breakdown was really satisfying to watch in this episode, but I kind of think the writers overdid his redemption with the blade of grass sticking out of the phone thing, and he gives it to the teacher.
I guess you could say that. I think I understand what you mean, but I think maybe they wrote themselves into that corner. Maybe they could have attacked the first act differently and not had the professor just kick Jeff out of the class. But once you kind of get that far gone, and he's you're beyond help, then I feel like that's the only thing that could have convinced this character to let Jeff back into the class.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. I don't think he has I mean, it shows how desperate he is to get back into the class to make like sort of like a symbolic gesture like that.
Right.
But it doesn't really feel like something he would do. Like I don't think he contains that level of sentimentality.
I don't know. I think he does, but I don't think he likes to admit it. I think,
Yeah, okay, yeah,
and I think
that makes more sense.
if he has to, he'll show it. But again, it's not like any of his close friends saw that. So really, all he has to show it to is one person. I think it makes sense for the character, but I can see what you're saying.
Yeah. Another like a really like good sort of subplot in this episode that I think it's overlooked is Abed trying to find a new show to watch
Okay.
because what Cougar Town is like put like its future is put into jeopardy.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And like I love because his character is clearly autistic. I don't mean that like a mean way, obviously. Like
He's definitely somewhere on the spectrum.
Dan Harmon wrote that character and figured out that he himself is on the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought like the subtlety of like that of them showing his character as or portraying his character as autistic, I thought were really nice. Like the way he makes noises when something bad happens, like he goes like,
right. Now that okay,
like
you bring up something interesting because you've had a few jobs where you're a caretaker for people that have diagnosed on the spectrum. How realistic do you feel like Abed is compared to what you've dealt with in your real life?
I mean, he doesn't remind me of anyone I've worked with, but like that's because it's such a wide spectrum. Mm-hmm. He's very high functioning, but I think they do a really good job of that with like without making fun of him too much. It's not like a Big Bang Theory kind of situation, like where I mean, I don't know, those characters they're like I mean, Abed has a lot more soul than the Big Bang Theory guy.
I agree with that, yeah.
So yeah, I think they really took a lot of care into writing that character.
Agreed.
And and I think like I said, like there's like subtle ways of showing that his character is on the spectrum, and like I said, like the noises he made,
right?
Stuff like that. That's a common one, I guess.
Yeah.
And like his and I mean they like dig through it really well. Like him not knowing certain behaviors are wrong. Right. Kind of have to explain that to him. Like when he's tracking their periods.
Oh yeah.
And I think his obsession with TV and like him using that as a way to understand people better is like another sort of, I think, a really crucial example of how they deal with his autism. I think that's really, I thought that was really well done.
Right.
So yeah, a couple answers to your question. Yeah, I thought about that a lot actually. Cool. All right. Well, we just experienced some technical difficulties. That was a weird time.
It was. First time we've had that difficulty. So this season's cursed. We're on the darkest timeline.
This is the darkest timeline. Yeah, I got my paper goatee going.
You could give yourself a real goatee.
Yeah, I could. Maybe I should.
Should we both grow goatees? I can do a goatee.
Okay. No.
Darkest timeline goatees?
Nah. I can't commit to that. Yeah, so we just experienced some technical difficulties. Alex was doing a bunch of internet-y stuff. And I was just
it's my job.
Yeah, and I was just sitting here vibing, eating berries. I couldn't even get high. I don't have any.
Shit! We're starting this season sober.
Yeah, I think we are.
So you might remember all of this then.
I'll remember this one fondly.
What kind of berries? Hallucinogenic berries or?
They're raspberries, but
okay.
like, but they're like each one had like a different consistency to it, so I had to put them away.
I'm not a
There's some like
I can't do
there
raspberries.
are some really soft ones that were really gross and like smushy, and there were ones that are just like downright crunchy.
Huh.
And I had to put them away. I was like, ooh, this is very inconsistent consistencies.
Raspberries are a no for me.
No?
Yeah, I'm not a big fruit person.
You're not a fruity guy?
No. Although recently I've been making oatmeal and putting strawberries in it, so I'm officially like 60 years old now, I guess.
You're how old now?
60? It just seems like a very old person thing. Yeah.
That's an old person thing for sure. All right, what were we talking about before?
You were explaining how Abed is you feel like a really good depiction of someone on the spectrum.
Okay, yeah. I was answering that question in a long form essay. That was rambling and incoherent, I think. But overall, I think I made my point that he's a good depiction of one person on the spectrum. I mean, yeah, and it doesn't take, and that's not the first thing you associate him with, which I really like.
Right, I agree.
I like that he's a very faceted character. Yeah, and I think this season is really good for him and Troy's relationship as well. I think this is one of the best ones.
It's a big one, yeah.
As far as that goes, I think you're right. This is like this is where they truly nail it. Like this whole season 3.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I mean, I think it's interesting. The sorts of things we keep coming back to are things that we keep talking about. Maybe I call it like recurring themes, but we've kind of had the opportunity to talk about Jack's mannequin, right? And we know how I feel about that, as Danny has pointed out on Twitter, and so like for me, that's like my big album, and this is like my big TV show. So like specifically, I can remember when both my kids were born, the night they were born in the hospital, playing them that album, Everything in Transit by Jack's Mannequin, and then immediately after that putting season 3 of Community on the TV, like in the hospital room. And like, so it's like, welcome to life. These are the 2 things I need you to absolutely know about: Jack's Mannequin and Community season 3.
Wait, so when your kids were born, you put on season 3 of Community?
Yeah, after the first listening of Jack's Mannequin, and then it's Community season 3.
And your wife was cool with this?
Yeah, she's fine. I mean, after you give birth, you're just exhausted. You want to bond with the baby. She loves Community. Daisy is a big Community person, so she had no issues with it. So yeah, I mean, this is the first thing and we're talking about the season premiere. So like literally this episode is the first thing either of my children were ever subjected to in front of a screen.
Wow. Both of them, huh?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now I'm trying to think of what I would do for my kid. Like what was like the first things I would expose to them if I had a kid.
Well, probably some ridiculous hardcore music or something.
Yeah, little kid. This is an album about hating yourself. It's called "Heavier Than Heaven, Lonelier Than God."
Right. Well, you might as well set him up for that.
Blacklisted.
Yeah, exactly.
Or here's "Violence by Ceremony."
And then, meanwhile, you're showing them The Sopranos afterwards. Yeah. It's a great welcome to life.
Whacked all the time. Yeah. It's Italians getting like just shooting people
right
in dark alleys for an hour. Yeah, that's what I've been watching this whole time. This is like after. I mean, I binged Community earlier this year already.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first show I binged in my new apartment, I think.
Well, now that wasn't your first time watching Community, was it?
No, it was my first time watching it all the way through, though.
Okay.
All 6 seasons, sequentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it was tough. It was a lot tougher than I expected it to be.
Okay.
The after season 4, I don't think they got the magic back.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think they did.
Well, I'm
There's
sure
some
we'll
good
explore
episodes to
that
talk
more.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good episodes we'll talk about. I made a point of picking at least one episode from every season so as to not be biased. So we
Right.
will talk about a season 4 episode.
Yeah, we will.
But yeah, the one we're talking about here is Biology 101. And is there do you have anything else?
I don't think I have necessarily anything else to add to it. I mean, I think when we talked about John Goodman briefly, I think he does an amazing job. I think the scenes with him and Jim Rash are absolutely incredible. I think Jim Rash again does. He's just amazing. But like the scene between them and where Jim Rash is like, I don't remember anything you said before the word rectum or whatever. I just like that kills me every time. I just think it's such a good back and forth between the two of them.
That's so good. Yeah. Vice Dean John Goodman. So I have in my notes. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of other notes for this episode. Other than let's see here. Oh yeah, when Jeff gets kicked out of class and Starburns tells him, "Dude, learn to blend." And he's got like a lizard on his like shoulder, and he's got his trademark Starburns.
Yeah. Starburns. I mean, he has a good couple of good lines in this episode.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I guess that's all I got for this one. Should we check in on the AV Club? Yeah. So we're gonna have a recurring segment here talking about the AV Club's opinions and see how it matches with my own. I don't like the AV Club. I don't read the AV Club anymore. I read the AV Club for many years. I don't like the AV Club because I grew up reading The Onion, and it was always the most boring part of The Onion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is back when The Onion was a free newspaper in Madison.
Right.
And I don't know how many people know that The Onion or the AV Club spun off of The Onion. But yeah, it was the only serious part of the paper, which is why I didn't like it. And I also don't think they're very good at criticizing things.
Okay.
But here they gave the episode a B plus.
It's fucking bullshit.
A B plus, not a D plus.
I know it's still bullshit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, still not. I would give it an A. Yeah, and the review kind of says like the more melancholy moments of the episode were the best, but I don't know. This is a really joke-filled episode.
Yeah, one note I took in the review is that the author says melancholy is an emotion the show does well, and I actually agree with that. I don't know if there's a lot of that in this episode necessarily, but I do think that when they kind of hit those more melancholy notes, they do it really well. And it seems like the AV's thing is that the same person does every episode of a particular show, so
maybe we'll be stuck with her writing for the whole collection.
I believe so was my impression after reading through it.
Well, I guess. Well, Emily, we're gonna disagree with a lot of things. I feel like it's gonna be a long battle between us.
I think that I took a couple notes. Like she says, I'm not going to come out and say the third season of Community will be all about moving from finding love to being loved, but the premiere at least struck me as suggesting this is the journey we'll be taking with these characters this season. And I just said, what? Like, I don't know what she's talking about. Like,
yeah.
I think that idea, and as someone, she mentions in the article that she's watched the first 2 seasons, so to think that that's going to be the journey you're going to take with Community, it's kind of, it's weird to me to not see it for more than that, or something more off the wall or atypical than that. That idea seems so typical of a sitcom.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it, Emily. We disagree.
Yes.
With you. Yeah. So then we're gonna do a character showcase on each episode where we kind of take a look at a lesser known character and kind of break down their what their what they contribute to the show, I guess.
Right.
And this week we're talking about Leonard.
Leonard, yes. So what do you have? Yeah. Are those your thoughts on Leonard? Do you like Leonard?
I love Leonard. I think he's one of the better background characters on the show. I don't like him as much as Garrett. I think Garrett might be my favorite.
Okay.
Which might be an unpopular opinion. I don't know. Yeah, I like the shut up Leonard joke in this one was
I heard about your prescription socks.
That's right. Yeah, there we go. I knew I was gonna forget it. That was pretty solid. I think there are better ones throughout the seasons.
So I think that Leonard. I also really like Leonard. One thing I really liked about Leonard was his reviews of frozen pizza and then chips.
Oh, frozen pizza on his YouTube channel. Yeah.
But there's this one of him talking about chips, but it just like listening to him.
Oh, that's right. Let's potato chips.
Yeah, listening to him describe the chips and talking about the chips, it reminded me of, I guess, us talking about chips, just like the most kind of boring conversation about chips you can imagine. Yet for some reason, it's utterly fascinating. Like, I'm surprised at how many people enjoyed listening to us talk about snacks at the conclusion of our last season.
That drives me insane. Like, our audience is really into chip talk.
Yeah, we've got a really chippy audience, I guess.
You know, when it first happened on the podcast, I was like, this is really boring. We're talking way too much about chips.
Right.
And then, no, everyone's on board for it. I don't get it.
I think it's because there's just like a lot of strong opinions about chips.
I guess so. I'm eating some right now. I got these Zapp's Cajun Dill Gator Taters.
Okay, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
Dill pickle flavored chips? No, thank you.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Gator Taters.
Gator Taters? What does that even mean?
I don't know. I mean, there's like... Well, Zapp's has like it's New Orleans style.
Oh, right. They have
of course, they're going to call it Cajun.
The voodoo chips are really good.
Yeah, the voodoo chips are really good too.
Where are the white women at?
There's a clip of Leonard saying, "Where are the white women at?" So... I think that's really all I've got as far as Leonard. There's others, but there's not much to say about Leonard other than he's great. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man. He's and those people at community college exist, like the really old folk.
Right. Now, I mean, they're usually not millionaires like Pierce, but
right. But yeah, there are Leonards out there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I miss community college.
Okay. Why?
For that reason. I like the mix of like old people, young people. Just everyone's there for their own reason.
Yeah.
You know, no one's judgmental. You know, because it's like we all know what community college is. It's not like your typical university. You're not here for the typical college experience. You're here to get in and get out.
Right. How long did you go to community college for?
2 years.
Okay.
I was in a transfer program, so I transferred to UW Eau Claire.
Okay.
Where I only lasted a single semester.
Oh, nice.
Before I dropped out and didn't go back. Well, I went back to community college for a little bit. So I went for like maybe 3 or 4 years on and off.
Did you get an associate's into the 2 years, or?
I didn't finish.
Okay.
I didn't even get the ass degree.
The ass degree.
Nope. But yeah, but it was a good experience for sure. I think about going back sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take it seriously this once.
Just this once.
Yeah, just this once. We'll see.
What would you study?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe marketing.
Oh, marketing. You could start by marketing our podcast for us.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I have taken over our Twitter, it seems.
For better or worse, yeah, it does seem that way,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I was gonna say for better or worse. I've taken over, and I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I mean, you're not using it, so I've just been posting.
I
every
mean,
once
I'm
in a
on there.
while.
I get on there. I have no
Yeah, you
problems with
respond
you
to
using
people.
it, but yeah, I respond to people. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not posting like I am.
Well,
You're
I
not
have nothing to
posting.
post. We're in between seasons right now. What
That's
am I
true.
supposed to
Yeah,
post?
that's true. I've been posting weekly playlists that have been getting low engagements, even though I put a lot of work into them.
Yeah, and then you bitch at everyone on Twitter that they're not listening to your playlist.
Yeah, I posted that the Tony Soprano meme. Yeah, like why are you Jamooks listening to the damn playlists?
Right.
And I made sure to look up what Jamook means, and it's an Italian word, and it's not a slur.
Oh, okay. You want to make sure it's not a slur
I,
before you
I
use
I
it.
made sure. Yeah, I made sure to see it's not a slur.
Great.
I'm not trying to get canceled on our Twitter.
Oh, okay. That's good. I don't want us to get canceled. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not.
I kind of do. I just don't want to deal with it. Would be a better way of looking at life.
Yeah, who would get canceled first from our Twitter?
Who? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be you because you have less of a filter. Like I think about what I'm posting. If you think about what you're posting, it's not always evident.
No. I don't post anything that bad though.
No, you haven't.
Oh yeah, there's that hot take that I didn't want to say on our Twitter that I said.
Oh yeah. What was that? I didn't find a hot take.
Okay, it was someone posted. No, it was someone posted the worst take I'd ever seen.
Okay.
And it's not. This is gonna mean like nothing to like anyone. They called Joyce Manor our generation's Husker Du. See, that doesn't mean anything to you, does it?
None of these words mean anything to me.
No. Joyce Manor is a band that's like really popular. And then Husker Du is a very old band that was really popular.
Okay.
And the two have nothing to do with each other.
Okay.
But Husker Du is very near and dear to my heart.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the band Tenement is our generation's Husker Du, who are from Appleton, Wisconsin.
Okay.
And that's all you need to know. Let's listen to Tenement.
Tenement? Okay.
Yeah, listen to Tenement. Everyone listening to this podcast, turn it off and listen to Tenement. Actually, no. Listen to this episode, and then go listen to Tenement.
Right.
Listen to any song by them, any album. I don't care.
Well, hold on. Let's listen to this episode. Sign up for our Patreon. And then if this is the first time you've ever listened to us, go back and listen to all of season 1, and then you can listen to, whatever this band is that Brian is going on about. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, do yourself a favor and listen to Tenement. Any album, any song, it doesn't matter. It's all so good. Like, every single thing they've done is amazing.
All right, well, I'll take your word for it because I'm probably never going to do that.
Yeah, their songs are like a minute and a half.
See, I hate that. I hate that songs have gotten so short. I like a 3-minute song.
You don't like short
That's where
songs?
I want to be. No, I want like a 3-minute song, I think is the sweet spot.
I mean, they got some of those too. Yeah, I don't know. You should use our Twitter more often so I don't have to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm too busy editing the episodes to be tweeting.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, do you have any final thoughts to add before I stop recording?
No, I'm good. Listen to Tenement.
Vice Dean, is this where Greendale's money is going?
More accurately, Dean, it's where Greendale's money comes from. Our air conditioning program has a job placement rate 5 times higher than the rest of your school combined. Our alumni donations comprise 80% of your entire school's budget. And you want to know why we think we deserve an espresso machine?
Well, I guess I didn't know.
Then you never had to, Dean. You could have lived the rest of your life in blissful ignorance and died a happy pansexual imp. But you wanted to feel power this year. Well, now you're going to feel my power as it surges downward from me straight through you from nostril to rectum now until the end of time. And that's what's up.
I forgot everything you said before!